you're watching VNA News Bulletin. I'm Vi Hằng from Hanoi with the major stories.
Party leader chairs meeting on apparatus streamlining.
Prime Minister proposes strategic guarantees for poverty eradication at G20 summit. And later on, Bar Ria Vung Tau works on driving tourism growth.
On November 19th, Party General Secretary Tulam presided over the first session of the Central Steering Committee for reviewing the implementation of Resolution Number 18, titled Several Issues on Continuing to Innovate and Rearrange the Organizational Apparatus for an Elite, Streamlined, Effective and Efficient Political System, adopted by the 12-Party Central Committee.
Up to now, the implementation of Resolution Number 18 has achieved initial results. However, the innovation and reorganization of the apparatus still see limitations that need to be further improved. This is an urgent requirement of the reality, which is expected by cadres, party members and the people, and strongly supported by the whole society. Concluding the session, General Secretary Tulam stressed that the resolution is a revolution in the organization of the apparatus of the political system, which needs to be implemented with the highest determination of the entire political system. As the work of streamlining the apparatus is very difficult and sensitive, it requires solidarity, high determination, courage and even the sacrifice of personal interests for the common interests from every party member, cadre, civil servant and public employee, the leader said. Party committees and organizations, agencies at all levels, particularly their heads, must be exemplary, proactive and urgent in the process of streamlining the apparatus, he emphasized.
Here's a summary of Prime Minister Pham Chinh activity in Brazil, where he attended the G20 summit and engaged in bilateral events, as well as his official visit to the Dominican Republic.
Prime Minister Pham Chinh delivered a speech at the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro on November 18th, local time, proposing 3 strategic guarantees for global poverty eradication. Confirming Vietnam's determination to eradicate all temporary and dilapidated houses nationwide by 2025, 5 years ahead of the set target, Chinh shared 3 key lessons from Vietnam's success in poverty reduction.
Tôi xin đề xuất 3 đảm bảo chiến lược.
Firstly, he emphasized that ensuring peace, stability, and development cooperation is a prerequisite for eradicating poverty and achieving inclusive growth. Secondly, he underlined the necessity of ensuring a global agri-food system that is efficient, stable, adaptable, and resilient to climate change as a long-term foundation. Thirdly, it is necessary to ensure investment in people, with education, training, and social welfare as key priorities to build a harmonious, inclusive, and sustainable society, he said. This year's G20 summit marks the largest ever gathering, with the participation from 21 G20 members, 19 invited countries, and 15 key international organizations. Discussions centered on eradicating poverty, promoting inclusive development, and enhancing financial support for low-income countries to implement effective poverty reduction and sustainable development projects, among others.
On the same day, Prime Minister Pham Chinh had meetings with leaders of countries and international organizations on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Meeting with Party General Secretary and President of China, Xi Jinping, Prime Minister Chinh expressed his hope that the two sides will continue to coordinate closely to implement high-level perceptions, joint statements, and documents signed during high-level visits over the past time. General Secretary and President Xi said, it is necessary for the two countries to maintain regular high-level contacts, demonstrating their close and trustworthy relationship. In a brief exchange with U.S. President Joe Biden, Prime Minister Chinh expressed his hope that the U.S. President will continue making contributions to bilateral ties, regardless of his future role. President Biden expressed his delight over the elevation of the bilateral relations between the two countries during his tenure. He affirmed his unwavering assistance for the Vietnam-U.S. relationship. Meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Chinh proposed some priority orientations, to promote the Vietnam-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. The Indian president emphasized Vietnam's significance in India's foreign policy, saying that he will consider visiting Vietnam in the coming year. During the discussion with Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru, Prime Minister Chin expressed his wish that both sides will continue consolidating their friendship and political trust through maintaining regular visits at all levels. The Japanese leader agreed to enhance bilateral cooperation across fields, while pledging to create favorable conditions for the Vietnamese community in Japan. In a meeting with the Republic of Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol, Prime Minister Chin put forward 3 key proposals to foster bilateral relations, including enhancing economic and trade cooperation. President Yoon agreed with these proposals and expressed his readiness to welcome key Vietnamese leaders to visit his country in 2025. Meeting with Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, Prime Minister Chin expected that the two countries will upgrade their strategic partnership in 2025 and bring bilateral trade to $18 billion. President Subianto agreed with the proposals and expressed Indonesia's wish to upgrade ties with Vietnam, suggesting strengthening bilateral and multilateral cooperation. Meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron, the two leaders stressed the need to continue exchanges and concretize cooperation mechanisms and agreements in all fields. Prime Minister Chin praised France's role and global initiatives on climate change, while President Macron expressed his hope to deepen cooperation in digital transformation and AI. In his meeting with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, the two leaders discussed measures to elevate bilateral relations to a new height and address regional and international issues of common interest. They suggested ways to contribute positively to maintaining peace, stability, cooperation, and development in the region and the world. Meeting with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, the Vietnamese thanked the organization for its valuable support to Vietnam's development over the past times. Guterres commended Vietnam's role as a model of peace and sustainable development, describing the country as a bright spot in international relations for other nations to learn from. Meeting with President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, Prime Minister Chin put forth 3 directions to further strengthen EU-Vietnam relations, including increasing the exchange of delegations. Ursula von der Leyen agreed with the proposals and emphasized the need to enhance economic, trade and investment cooperation and optimize the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement. Besides, Prime Minister Chin also had positive and constructive discussions with leaders of a number of other countries and key international organizations.
Speaker of the National Assembly of Armenia, Alen Simonian, is on an official visit to Vietnam from November 17 to 23rd at the invitation of National Assembly Chairman Chen Thanh-Minh.
On the afternoon of November 19th, Chairman Tran Thanh Mun hosted a welcoming ceremony for Speaker Alen Simonian. After the ceremony, the two leaders held talks. Speaker Alen Simonian said that in recent times, the two countries have continuously strengthened political and diplomatic relations, as well as increased cooperation in many fields. According to the Armenian speaker, the two countries still have much potential to promote cooperation in a number of fields, such as defense and technology. Agreeing with the guest, Chairman Mann suggested the two sides continue exchanging delegations at all levels and effectively implementing existing cooperation mechanisms and agreements. The two leaders held to increase cultural exchange activities and education cooperation, and consider the issuing of preferential visa policies to facilitate citizens of both sides. They also consented to considering the signing of a cooperation agreement between the two national assemblies in the coming time. On the same day, Party General Secretary Talam hosted a reception for Speaker of the National Assembly of Armenia, Alen Simonian. Affirming that the traditional friendship between the two countries has been tested by time and many historical changes, the host leader expressed his appreciation for the assistance that the government and people of Armenia has given to Vietnam. He discussed with the guest a number of major directions and measures aimed to promote the traditional friendship between the two countries in the coming time. Thanking the host leader for the warm welcome, Speaker Alan Simonian affirmed that Armenia always treasures the good traditional friendship with Vietnam. Now is an important time to promote cooperation between the two countries in all fields, the Armenian speaker told the host leader.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has called for accelerated efforts to eliminate temporary and dilapidated housing nationwide, prioritizing families of national contributors, impoverished households, and those affected by natural disasters.
In an official dispatch issued on November 18th, the Prime Minister tasked key ministries and agencies with overseeing implementation, ensuring funding, and guiding localities on culturally and regionally adaptive housing designs. The Ministry of Finance was asked to propose tax incentives for enterprises supporting the initiative, while the Ministry of Construction will recommend support levels for building and repairing homes. The Committee for Ethnic Minority Affairs will address housing challenges under the Socio-Economic Development Program for ethnic and mountainous areas. Prime Minister Chin also urged provinces to establish steering boards for the initiative and intensify public communication to mobilize resources and achieve social consensus.
The Vietnamese community in Macau, China, set up a booth to display and sell products at the ongoing 24th Macau Food Festival and has participated in art performances with the aim of promoting Vietnamese culture to local residents and international visitors.
The 24th edition, which kicked off on November 15th, features more than 140 participating restaurants and eateries that showcase both local and international cuisine. Running until December 1st, food lovers can explore a diverse array of options, including 16 stalls offering Chinese cuisine, 33 dedicated to Macanese dishes, 22 specializing in Japanese and Korean fare, 20 focused on Southeast Asian cuisine, and 16 stalls featuring Western dishes.
Through this festival, my restaurant aims to promote Vietnamese culinary culture to Macau residents and international visitors.
I really enjoy Vietnamese dishes. The bowl of pho I had at this year's festival had a unique flavor, and many of my friends who tried it agreed it was authentically Vietnamese. I was also impressed by the fresh spring rolls.
There are now many restaurants in Macau offering Vietnamese dishes, and participating in this festival is an opportunity to introduce Vietnamese food to more people in Macau and around the world.
The southeastern province of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu is focusing on improving existing tourism services, expanding entertainment options, and developing upscale beachfront resorts to attract international visitors.
Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu is working to upgrade its tourism environment in a modern and sustainable manner. By 2030, it aims to add 11 hotels rated at least 5 stars and establish cruise ports to welcome international visitors in Vũng Tàu. In the first 9 months of 2024, close to 13.5 million tourists visited Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, a 22.3% year-on-year increase. Experts noted that elevated airfare costs this year have led many travelers to opt for nearby destinations accessible by road as a cost-saving measure. This trend has significantly boosted the number of visitors to the province, particularly from neighboring localities. The province plans to strengthen ties with Ho Chi Minh City and tour operators to increase international arrivals. The aim is for a third of the southern metropolis foreign tourists to spend 1 or 2 days in the province.
And that has wrapped up our daily bulletin. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.